start? Okay, so let's talk about good, healthy sleep habits. Where do you even start?
So that is a really good question. It begins with having a fixed sleep-wake schedule. So it's really important that you try to have a stable and a consistent wake-up time and a stable and consistent sleep time. So that is key. And the most important is actually not what time you go to bed, but what time you actually get up, because that is the point at which everything revolves. So the wake-up time is key, and you don't want to sleep in on the weekends too much. I tell my patients I'll allow you about an hour and a half. Otherwise, it's called social jet lagging, where you're having your body go across time zones. And then Monday, you're expected to come back, and that's just very difficult to do.
Oh, that's great. What if you find yourself tossing and turning at night and you're just prone to, grabbing that melatonin? What do you recommend?
So most of us will wake up 4 to 5 times throughout the night. That is perfectly normal. And as we age, that number might actually increase a little bit more. The question is, can you fall back asleep within about 15 to 20 minutes? If you feel that you're not able to fall back asleep within 20 minutes, then get out of the bed and engage in a quiet activity that does not involve any screen time. And then when you feel you're sleepy again, that's when you go back to bed.
What are your biggest recommendations for people who struggle with sleep?
So number one, keep, as I told you, a fixed wake-sleep schedule. Number two, avoid any caffeinated drinks 8 hours before bedtime. Get plenty of daylight sunshine and daylight light, and avoid having bright lights in the evening.
How many hours of sleep should you realistically get?
It depends on your age. For children, it's a very different number of hours, but for the average adult, between 7 and 8.
How do you feel about naps?
So there are some studies that suggest that in the older population, so in the elderly, a half-hour nap is actually beneficial. But if you're not 65 and older, napping may actually interfere with your ability to consolidate sleep at night.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to good night's sleep?
So biggest misconceptions is everybody needs 8 hours of sleep. You don't. If you are what's called a short sleeper and you only get 6 hours of sleep and you're not tired throughout the day, then that's fine. That's just the way that you were made. There is no absolute number of hours or a solid 8 hours of sleep that you're going to get as an adult. As we age, our ability to consolidate sleep diminishes. So the deep sleep that you had when you were 18 or 19 or 20 is not going to be realistically had when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And there are no sleep aids that can accomplish that as well.
Do you recommend any sleep aids whatsoever?
Unless you are going to be seeing a sleep physician, I do not recommend any.
Anything else? What's the biggest takeaway you always hope that a patient would take away from you?
There will be some good nights. There will be some bad nights, and that's okay. As long as overall you're waking up most days feeling refreshed and able to do your daily activities.
That's perfect. That's all I need from you. Nice and easy.